Hello and welcome back to the Resilient Kid podcast with me, Ashley Castello. I'm psychotherapist of over 25 years. It's great to have you here. Great to be back. So today we're talking about the family pot. This is season 2, episode 2. What is the family pot? Well, it's kind of a hypothetical but practical idea around who puts in what and who takes out. So if we take the average family of 4, who is putting in that family, who is contributing to the wider family? If we think about the family pot as a resource, as something that can be drawn on when we need something that needs to be filled up, that's our family pot. We all contribute and we all take out to various or lesser degrees. Now, we can do this in several ways. So we can add to the family pot financially. So for instance, whoever's earning the money or bringing the money in, that is contributing to the family pot, keeping the house running, the lights, the food in the fridge, those kind of things, money for, going out. Who is contributing financially into that pot? Now, that could be you on your own if you're a single parent. It could be you and a partner. And actually, very often, the kids, even teens, are not putting into that pot, but they might be able to contribute in a different way. And I'll come on and tell you about that. We can also practically contribute to the pot by doing things like chores around the house. And actually, for me, one of the really good ways that kids contribute financially is to help out by doing chores that then frees us as parents or carers to be able to get on with work. So I'll give you an example of that as we go, but it's a really good way. So who is it that is contributing practically? Who's doing the washing? Who needs washing done? Things like that. Yeah, you get the idea. Okay, so how else do we contribute? Well, we contribute emotionally to the pot as well. Who's there for each other? Who's there to listen when, the kids come in from school and they need to tell you about a difficult day? Who is it that kind of is the one that puts the kettle on if somebody else is, they can see another member of the family's had a tough day? Things like that, emotionally contributing. So think about every time we contribute, there will also be somebody, might be us, might be the kids, who take out of that pot as well. Okay, so let's kind of get into it. Now you know how we can contribute to the family pot. Let's give you real life examples and how it really helps the kids understand, because what I hear is lots of clients at the minute saying, the kids take me for granted. They think money grows on trees, things like this. This family pot is to stop all of that. Okay. So let's take an example of my kids. So I have 2 kids, both teens, one who's just left school, one who's still at school. So they're around 13 and 15-ish. And they take from the pot in very different ways. The older one, she will probably, she probably goes out more, but she actually earns her own money. So she's not taking financially out of the pot that much, to be fair, apart from the usual, clothes, makeup, and her after extracurricular activities. My son is younger. He doesn't really earn his own money, apart from he does cut the grass. So just kind of a heads up, both of my kids contribute doing chores. I don't pay them for. They do something extra, they get paid for it. His thing is he cuts grass every week for $5. So he has that to spend when he goes to town with his mates, things like that. But he doesn't contribute to the pot financially. But both of my kids will do chores, which means that frees me up to do work or do other things. So they're contributing time. So I can't pay for time. Yeah, I can't get that back. So if I've got, say for instance, I've got a late night client and I'm going to be on Zoom, one of them makes dinner, that is giving me that time back. So that is so cool because it means that they can contribute something that actually helps the family financially through time rather than putting, £10 in the pot for something like that. So if we take both of my kids, the youngest will, his extracurricular is quite expensive. He does acting. So it's, considerably more expensive than, say, my daughter's that's rugby. So we pay a one-off yearly fee for her rugby. We pay monthly for the acting lessons. Now, the way that we work it is because he needs more lifts. He needs more money financially and also emotional support as well. So when he's finished kind of doing a show, it's full on, he's shattered, we have to make sure he's got pack up, he's getting plenty of rest, things like that. So he would probably take out of the family pot, and he's younger. The younger they are, the more they take out of the family pot. So he would take out quite considerable in comparison to my older daughter because she is older, she doesn't need as much, and also her extracurriculars are not reliant on us because it's round the corner. She can kind of take herself to and from there most days when she has to go. So can you see how it can seem really unbalanced? So you might have an adult that financially puts in the pot, you might have kids who take out of the pot. That is what we're talking about, is who's putting in and who's taking out. Now, when I discuss this with families and I discuss it with kids, I say to them, okay, what is it that you need? So on a Sunday, we set expectations, and I've got like a whole podcast in season 1 around expectations. So if you're not sure what I mean, I will give you a brief overview, but go and check out that one. So on a Sunday, we say, right, who needs what this week? And for instance, it might be my youngest needs a lift to his acting class, but he's also got rehearsal. So he needs a lift twice this week. He's then also arranged, or he wants to arrange a friend coming for a sleepover at the weekend. Is that okay? That is absolutely okay if it's convenient, but it is still taken out of the family pot. You've got to check the bedding. You've got to, what's this kid eat that's coming to stay over? What are you doing? Things like that. So it's still taken out of the family pot. So it's around what is the expectation for that, and what extra work is it going to be for either me or dad? So we have to kind of think about that. We might say, okay, I'm going to work late, so I can't do dinner on Tuesday night. That's my expectation. I want somebody else to be able to do that. It could be the hubby's in Manchester working, so he's going to be late on such and such a night. So it's around just looking at the expectations for the week, what everybody needs, and can we accommodate all of them? Sometimes it's a yes, sometimes it's a no. We're too busy at the weekend, your mate can't stay over, or can you get a lift with somebody else because, we're busy, or okay, I'll move that work so I can take you there. It's things like that in a expectation kind of chat that we usually have on a Sunday after dinner. We go, right, what does everybody needs this week? Can we do it? And I usually end up writing it out because I'm quite a visual person and I just need it written down or I'll forget. And we go, okay, let's try and work this out. Now, that's your expectation / needs conversation for the week. However, what are the kids putting back in that family pot, or the hubby or your partner? What is it that they're putting back in the pot that will help you and resource you to give you some capacity to be able to help them? So for instance, yes, okay, your friend can stay over on Saturday night. However, I need you to clean your room and change the bedding. Okay, now he's 13. He has been changing bedding since he was about 10. Yes, he might needed a little bit of help. All the kids, most ages from 5, 6 up, can strip a bed. Making it is a little bit different. We do the inside out method. Don't know about you guys. But so he can do that. That's not an issue for him. If he wants his friend to stay over, when that's done, then yes. But if it isn't done, I'm not going to be running around doing that. The friend just doesn't stay. If he wants it, he'll do it. He's putting in the family pot to be able to get his friend to stay over. The other thing is things like hanging out the washing, putting in practical stuff, chores around the house. And again, chores are really important for kids, doing jobs around the house, really important for that sense of belonging, that sense of need, as well as that pride and life skills, of course. But actually, the kids doing practical things around the house free you up for you to be able to do other stuff, which is more fun stuff, let's be honest, usually, that you can help. So, after dinner, sometimes we'll go, right, everybody help clean up and we'll watch a movie together, or we'll play a game of cards or a board game or whatever, but everybody helps. That's everybody contributing to the family pot. When you have your little discussion around who needs what during the week, you'll realize, and the kids will realize, who's taking more out than others. So for instance, my son, when we had this conversation at the beginning, he realized how much actually of time and our capacity he is using up. So we ask him to contribute. Now, of course, it's not going to be equal, but it's important because then they don't take us for granted. And also for them to understand there is that give and take, because if not, our capacity and our time goes, we haven't got anything left. We haven't got capacity or resource left in the pot to be able to give it to them. And that's when we end up rowing. That's when you end up getting like angry with each other, things like that. So there is that, kids giving time instead of finance, which is great. But also that very practical element of helping. So it could just be things like my daughter, so for instance, she wanted to order something and she was like, can you order this for me? Can I have this? And I think it was a pair of trainers. And she was like, I'd said, yeah, absolutely. We'll get you a new pair of trainers. You definitely need them. Let's get them ordered. You have a look at what you want. Now, I'd already taken to a shop and she didn't really like them. So, okay, we'll look online and see. Now, usually what it would have been is she'd have said, I like these. I'd have ordered them, blah, blah, blah. She's 15, nearly 16. She doesn't need me to do that. I can give my card over. I know that's done. I'll get the email to say it's confirmed. So that means that 10 minutes I'm freed up. It's the hassle of it more than the time for me. So of course she can do something like that. It can be something like, nip into the shops. So you don't have to do it. If it's, only a few things, it can be cleaning the bathroom. It can be making dinner. Yes, of course, the younger they are, the simpler the dinner is. But actually, is there anything wrong with, say the teens just putting a pizza in for everybody and making a salad? If they're younger, what about a sandwich? Can they all make sandwich or toast? Spaghetti on toast, scrambled eggs on toast, things like that. Having a lighter tea that night just frees it up. And I'll tell you one thing that my kids like about making dinner for everybody, and they do various different things, is that on the night they make dinner, they don't clean up. They don't help clean up. They don't lift it. They literally take the plate out. That's it. In fact, they rarely do that. We take it. So that's kind of our rule, that if you make tea, you don't, or dinner, you don't clean up afterwards. So they love that they get away with that. Now, so there's lots of things that they can do, whether it's hanging out the washing, whether it is, making a phone call on your behalf. So I'm not on about ringing the bank, but like, for instance, I will say, ring Nana, tell her we'll be there on, such and such time. And it's just while I'm doing other things, so that it helps. It's all putting into the pot. Absolutely. Emotionally, think about your children and who takes out of that pot. So I've had a client recently who is absolutely fabulous. Brilliant parents, do really, really well. But one of their kids was really struggling and real anger issues for various different reasons. But they're absolutely taken out of the pot because you're drained after dealing with that. Walking them through that emotional regulation is really difficult at times. And there's not a lot left for you. There's not a lot left of your capacity or your resource left to give then either other kids or your partner or even, yourself. And so sometimes we have to be aware of what drain there is on that family pot emotionally and address it. So I often say to the kids, things like knowing that one of us is working, bring us a coffee just out of the blue, or text and say, do you need anything? Things like that. Checking in with each other. How's your day? Because we always, don't we? We say to the kids, how's your day? How are you? Things like that. But actually, what we end up doing is not, they don't often ask us. And actually, that's really important. Is there anything I can do for you? Just little things that they can put in, giving you a hug, kiss goodnight, I love you, is all emotionally putting in the pot, especially with each other. If you've got sibling kids, I've got two, I know plenty who have got way more than me, and it's about them getting along, helping each other. That is emotionally putting it in the pot. I am not saying, it's not at the times like my mum's generation, she was the eldest, she brought up the others. It's not like that. They are just looking out for each other. If one of you, if you're doing something and one of the kids can't find the shoes, can one of the siblings help? It's all emotionally contributing to the pot. And the reason why it's so important for me is because it is that contribution. Yes, it's life skills as well, but actually, see, for me, it's building that resilience. It's contributing to the people around you, building our mental health, building our life skills, but building our resilience as well. Of course, I would mention resilience. But yes, so important. So I guess what I want to do is I want you to have a little look at what your needs are as a family and who is taking out of the pot more and who is contributing more. Now, heads up, chances are if you are the main caretaker for your kids, you will be contributing more. However, you can readdress that balance with your partner if you have one and our kids. So have a look who's taking out and have a look what we need to fill that pot up so there is resource to go right round the family. And it's not just left that the main caregiver is, scraping around the bottom of the barrel. So it could be things like, can the kids make dinner? Can the kids run errands for you? Can they help with the washing? Can they, how often do they display affection? And that can be just positive conversations, asking your welfare, things like that. It can be hugs. It can be, making you a cup of tea or coffee, things like that. So helping around the house, very practical. It can be time elements. Can they help each other rather than you having to do it? And also, think about who's taking out and what are they contributing in. And I think it's really enlightening. It will really help them. Well, it'll help you readdress the balance, but also it will help them realize, having those conversations around who needs a lift, who needs PE kit, who needs this, who needs that, they'll realize how much they take, and that taking for granted is less likely, for sure. So good luck with that. Let me know how you get on. I would love to hear your conversations and your questions, of course. If you've got any questions at all, you can email me at ashley@theresilientkid.co.uk. You can comment under the podcast or YouTube video, depending on where you're streaming this from. And you can also check us out on Insta or Facebook page. But I would love to hear how that conversation has gone, and are the kids starting to contribute more? I would love to hear it. You can also get more of my ideas and help with, if you have a look up the book, The Parent's Guide to Raising a Resilient Kid, available at all good bookshops or Amazon. Amazon have got it on offer at the minute, and they are pushing it themselves, so it's on offer there. So have a look at that. Or for the summer, we have the Parenting Guide to Raising a Resilient Kid course, which is on half price in the summer months to help all you guys out there. So take care. Hope you and your family are doing well. Sending lots and lots of love, and I'll speak to you soon.